The next thing I'm going to show you is a site called Quizizz. There's tons of resources out there. I'm just showing you an example of one that is pretty easy to use, and it does have some cool features. So you're going to go to quizizz.com. I'm really not sure how to pronounce it, so forgive me if I'm saying it incorrectly. So Quizizz.com. So I'm going into here, and chances are, yes, I'm already logged in. You won't be logged in if it's your first time going there. So let me see if I can log myself out. Yes, log out. So the first time you sign up, you will click on sign up. And if I were you, what I did, I signed up with Google and I used my work email address to sign up. So it was sort of linked to that. It will link up and sync up with your Google Classroom, which is nice. So you definitely want to use that email address when you do it, okay? So that's how you're going to sign in. You're going to answer a few questions. It's probably more for data purposes. They may ask you, what do you teach? What subjects? Just go nuts. Give them a lot of information, whatever. Just be like, I teach these math classes, English classes, science classes, whatever it is. It's just so they can recommend things to you. They're really not annoying. You'll be fine. So I'm going to click on login. My stuff is saved. And here I am. Now, say I want to, while I gave them homework, I had them turn in their homework on Google Classroom, but maybe I want to give them some sort of an assessment. Maybe I want to help them with a little bit of repetition and fluency and make them a little bit better at using expanding and simplifying logarithmic expressions. Whatever it is, it doesn't have to be math. It could be any subject, really. So I'm going to search the topic, if I'm being a little bit lazy, expanding and simplifying logarithmic expressions. And I'm just going to look for what's already out there. Now, sometimes there's not great stuff. Sometimes there's nothing. I really don't see much here. Expanding and simplifying log. Let's just simplify that a bit and less complicated. Logarithm laws, log rules, expanding and condensing log. So people just have it as different names. So I can see what's out there. This one here has been played over 4,000 times, a few of these log rules. If I hover over it, I'm not clicking, if I hover on the side here, comes up a preview, so you could kind of get a look at what it looks like. So say I click on it and I'm like, oh, let's look at these questions. Okay, what does that equal? Maybe I don't like that it doesn't say expand, because I want them to understand that this is simplified and it's going to be expanded. Same here. Maybe I even want to be really specific. I want to say expand using product property, expand using quotient property, because I want them to know, the full name or whatever my reason might be. So what you can do is you can save it to your collection somewhere. So say, save it to Algebra 2, wherever, anything, I don't care. Multiple folders, make a new folder. So I might make one called log, create, save it there too. Go crazy, save it wherever you want, done. So I saved it. Now what I'm also going to, so this way if you get logged out or you aren't finishing this and now you want to find that same one that you really liked, it's saved, you have it saved in your folder on the side somewhere over here with your account. Now I want to do some editing though. So it creates a duplicate. So you won't be editing someone else's file anymore. You're going to go ahead and edit your own. The questions are all here. It's also a good idea to check and make sure there's no mistakes. You could also add a fifth choice if you want it to be a little bit more challenging. So I'm going to go right up here and I'm going to say instead expand using the product property. Okay, now it's typed out log 2 times 3. They're not using math type right now. Maybe that annoys me. So I'm going to backspace. If you click on this right here, add math equation, this will pop up. log, parentheses, 2. We have, I think, multiplication, yes, times 3. And insert that. And now it looks a little bit nicer. It won't get knocked to the next line. There we go. And if I want to add an answer option, if I write log 6, well, it's correct. It is equal to that, but it's not how you would expand it using the product property. So now I'm adding a 5th choice. You could put a timer on it. It kind of gives them a little bit more sense of urgency. You can shut the timer off. It really doesn't matter too much. It's just there to keep them moving. And I hit save. You could add a picture in there if you want, if you don't feel like typing something. Say you have a worksheet at home, like the other one I had before that I inserted for homework. So maybe I want to take a question right from there. Okay, so if I want to add a question to this, I can click on Create New Question. And now say I want to use a screenshot of something. So we're going to do 2 lessons right now. So I'm going to open up that folder again, and that was in section 4, and I had properties of, that was the worksheet I assigned for homework, right? Now, maybe I really like one of these examples on here, right? Perhaps I really like, sure, this one. I really like number 13. So I am going to hit Command-Shift-4 on my Mac, and that will let me screenshot. So Command-Shift-4, and I want this image to be just saved as a little picture for me. And now go back into, where did this guy go? Quizizz. Media. You can drag and drop or click there to upload. So if I know where it is, I know it automatically saved right here to my desktop. I'm going to drag and drop it right in there, and the image will just pop up. So I don't even have to type. If I already have a worksheet made, I'm not going to reinvent the wheel here. I already have the sheet made. I have an answer key for it handy. It's not that big of a deal to do it this way. Well, you could just type it in, screenshot it, and then once you're done with it, so you don't clutter your desktop, I'm just going to drag it into the trash so I don't have 100 things on my desktop. Now I have to add my answer options. So maybe I want to make this multiple select. I want to make a bunch of correct answers. What is this equal to? So I could put in, say, log. I can put in a base like that, 2, and then I believe just click, oh, no, I don't want that. I want to move, sorry. I'll make sure I'm normal size. There I am. Log base 2 of 2 to the 2nd power, because that was the 4. I'm being a little extra right now. Plus, what was that? Log base 2 of 2. So I can leave that as it is. Maybe I'm lazy and copy and paste. Okay. Plus, or no, it was minus, copy and paste again, back up there, 2 to the 3rd. Insert. That's not wrong. It is equal. And I could even put a question over here. Select all equivalent statements. Then I can put over here, if I'm using the math type, I'm just going to continue. Say I did 2, what was it, plus after that one? Plus 1, minus 3, insert. And I already hit multiple select, so, well, that's right, and that's right. With the multiple select for math, I do like to make a lot of them correct because I would rather them get into a habit of seeing good, correct answers than incorrect answers. So I try to put a lot of correct answers on the sheet. 2 plus 1 minus 3, so that's actually 0 right there, right? I can also, well, again, sorry, I'm a Virgo, so I like everything to be a certain way. What else can I do? I can start with the, paste that again, and I can do product property for part of it. That was 4 times 2. Oh, too many parentheses. Minus, and I can leave that as 8. Maybe I'll put parentheses around the 8. Insert that, and I can do one more option, and I am going to do this and quotient property together. So basically everything will be correct. So that was, I have a fraction option right there. We had 4 times 2 on top. We have 8 on the bottom, and we can insert that there. So whatever way you want to do things, you know, knock yourself out. I'm going to say that they're all correct, and I save it there. Okay, next step. I have 21 questions. If you want to assign, well, I have to finish quiz. So pretend I fixed everything. It's perfect. It's beautiful. Log rules, save, great. On Quizizz, once you're signed up as a teacher, and I think it could be pronounced Quizizz, but the kids get confused if I'm saying the plural of quiz. So I just say Quizizz, so they separate it. So I don't know if I'm saying it correctly. So I go over here to classes on the side, and I want to update Google Classes. So I'm clicking on that, and now I have more classes on here. I'm going to hit save. And on the side here, when you need to teach from home is our class. It will automatically blast out to my Google Classroom, hey, sign up for Quizizz, yay. So I should have sent it to the Google Classroom. So please join my class when you need to teach from home on Quizizz using the link below. I go to my Quizizz, and I have on here log rules. It's saved up, and I already recorded how to do this. So then I can do assign homework, and I click on that. Learners should complete the quiz by, you can put a due date, okay? So say March 26th, as far out as I can go. What time? Everything you put will automatically blast out to the Google Classroom post. So the kids will know when this is due. No excuses. So it's done. So say it's due by 10 p.m. on March 26th. I could even now select which classes I want to assign it to. I'm going to assign it to our PD. Assignment title, expand and condense logs, homework, or whatever you want to call it. Schedule and description. Do your best, whatever you want to write to them. Don't be a weenie. This is important to me. When should this game start? Now or another day? You can queue it up, do all your work on a Monday, queue up everything for the week, and it's all going to blast out to the kids throughout the week. You pick the day and time, and it'll blast out to them, and you put the due date, day and time, and it'll say late if they do it after that. They can still, Quizizz they cannot do after the deadline. Google Form they can do, but it'll say they're late. Okay? So you have to decide what's better for you. Quizizz, it's going to lock them out, and they're done. They get a 0 if they can't get in anymore. You leave it open for however long you want. Google Form, it's still there. They can do it. You don't have to reopen it for them. You don't have to do anything, but it will indicate that they did the assignment late. So they have their pros and cons. The pros to Quizizz is there's a bunch already made for all different subjects. The con, once it's closed and it's late, if you want the kid to have a chance to redo it, you got to repost this whole thing. It's annoying. Google Form, the pro, it stays open and they can still do it and it tells you they were late. The cons, you have to make it a lot yourself. You could do it in an easy way with screenshots and stuff, but you still have to do it yourself, okay? So you choose what works for you. You don't have to use any of this stuff. I'm just saying it exists. How many attempts? 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or unlimited. Show answers in game. I could completely shut it off if you have like an advanced class and you don't want to let them know if it's right or wrong. Shut it off. You don't have to tell them anything. I say validate where it tells them right or wrong but doesn't tell them what's right. Or you could turn it on and it'll tell them the right answer if it's just to study or something. Show answers post-game. I have that off. I don't want them to know the answers. You could also, there's a feature for this redemption question where it will re-ask them something that they got wrong. It'll cycle it back in. I usually shut it off because I never played around to see how it affects their grade. So I didn't know how it would work, and I kind of wanted to keep it fair. I'd rather them do all the questions again. I don't know. Shuffle answer options, question options, sure. I shut off the leaderboard because I don't want anyone to feel bad that they're in last place and the whole class could see. It'll show. Timer, I had it on for a while, but it was freaking kids out. The timer doesn't even matter. The timer just ticks down on the top of the screen. They can answer after the timer. It's just there for a sense of urgency. I had it on for a lot of the year just so they got used to it, but recently one of my kids was freaking out, so I shut it off. Play music I shut off, redemption question off, memes I shut off, but some of the kids like them, but I shut them off. Host game, now it's all set, whatever I chose, and it'll blast it out when I scheduled it, or it'll blast it out now, and it'll close out when I asked it to, and it's done. And like I said, the scores will all be here on Google Classroom. You sort it by status if you want, or you sort it by last name. And now it's alphabetized, and I can kind of look at this and transfer it to Google Classroom.
I just posted a quiz, and it's up there.
So you already did it. Look, we're multitasking. Beautiful. You're a professional. You can also do multiple select or multiple choice. You can't do open-ended. You can put timer on it. It shuffles questions. It shuffles answers. You can search by standards. You could search by topic. You can make your own. You can use screenshots. You can use pictures. You could just type things. It has a math type in it. It's pretty easy. And the nice thing I like about it, and the kids actually really like it too, is I always set it that students can do it up to 5 times. And I have it set where I take their best of 5 scores. So I make the assignments with that in mind. I'm not trying to make a Quizizz assignment something where kids are going to have to write something down. I want it to be mental math because they're not going to write it down. If they're doing this on their phone, they're clicking. So if you choose questions that they can do in their head, they're more likely going to do it. Kids are always telling me that they just do it while they walk home. They're like, I get my math homework done, like whatever part of it. And this isn't necessarily their whole math assignment, but I might give it to them as a do now, do it once now. You could do it up to 5 more times. You have a week to get it done, and I'm taking your best of 5. But as homework now, while we have to figure this out from home with this virus going on, you can make it their homework, give them like a 48-hour window, do it up to 5 times, and I'll take your best of 5. If a kid isn't doing well on it, well, you could explain to their parents, they had 5 tries to do this. They had 48 hours to do it. They could have messaged me on Remind with a question, a screenshot, like I keep getting this one wrong and I don't know why. They could have asked me. They had 48 hours and 5 tries. Your kid tried once. They got 1 out of 5 right, and they didn't try again. They didn't ask for help. And everything's documented, and you show their parents they had 5 tries, and they didn't take advantage. If it's multiple choice and you have 5 tries and there's only 5 options, I mean, they should be able to get a good grade by the last time. That's why I throw in the multiple select, though, because I don't, and let me tell you, they're not that ambitious that they're just going to figure it out that way. Like, the questions scramble and they get confused, so they're not really going to memorize the answers. They just want sometimes to, like, know what to do. But the multiple select is kind of a good way to really hold them accountable for not being able to just memorize it, because they know I like to make multiple select questions. If there's 5 choices, I usually make 4 out of 5 right, or 3 out of 5 right, or all 5 right. I don't want them to read wrong information over and over again. I'd rather them read accurate information over and over again. I don't tell them that. Maybe some of them have figured it out, that it's usually almost all of them are the answer. But like, I'd rather them continually read good stuff instead of continually read the wrong thing and keep picking the wrong thing and reinforce the wrong thing. So you could do it your own, or you can, what's it called? Someone playing it already? You can do your own. You can use an existing one. They're there. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. If we make them, as I make them, if you have an account, it'll say, do you want to share this with your colleagues? So I made this one. If my colleagues have a Quizizz, I can blast it out to share the one I made with you. So if you wanted to assign it to your classes as well, and vice versa. So we can share ones that we've made if we're teaching the same subject. So it's like, oh, I made this for log. I made this for that. I think it's pretty good if you want to try to use it. Usually if I use one that's already existing, I try to do it myself first, because sometimes there's a mistake and that's annoying. So if there's an error, I want to catch it. They don't need their parents' stuff, so we can optional start quiz. There is a read-aloud option, like if you have kids who are dyslexic or have a little bit of trouble, depending on your content area, you could have it read it aloud to them. say I get the wrong answer, it's just going to tell me I'm wrong. But it didn't tell me what was right. Now, if I'm doing this next to my friend, our questions are in different order. There's 21 questions on this. We're both in a different order. Our choices are in a different order. We can't really help each other that much. You know what I mean? So yes, you could talk to each other, but you can't really just exchange answers in a quick, easy way. So if they got it wrong, it just turned red. If they get it right, so where's this one here? U, V, W to the fifth. It tells me I'm right. Now, once your scores are done, so I'm just going to close out of this, on this post on Google Classroom, I'll go here. It will give me what your score was. So if you don't finish all of them, it doesn't give me the score, but it automatically tells me what percent you got right. So if I want to see over here what percent you got right, it'll pop up. As you do it again, it'll give you a new score. So it'll keep popping up. Another option, say I wanted to make it a score out of 21. I don't feel like dividing anything to figure out what it was out of 21. Well, oh, they could also pause the game. I don't know if you noticed. Pause and come back. So if they don't want to finish right now, pause, it saves it for them, and they can finish it later. So they don't have to do it all in one sitting. If you want to make their score out of 21 because there's 21 questions on it, what you would do, and now the only reason I'm showing these scores is because these were my colleagues who were, some were taking it seriously and some were just clicking because not everyone is a math teacher. So it's not like I'm showing actual student scores here. So you'll get their scores over here. Over in this spot, if you assigned it to more than one class, you can sort by class period, whatever. You can sort the scores by, over here, score, accuracy, first name or last name. I tend to do it by last name so that I can put them in the grade book. Usually what this will mean is that this person like opened it and never actually worked on it. If they got them all wrong, it would be red. You know, she just never did it. This one did 6 and then didn't do the rest. This one did 12 and got 3 wrong, you know, whatever. So when I would go to put their score in, if I were to make them 1 point each, you know, this person would get 0 out of 21, 6 out of 21, 12 out of 21, 19, 2, 21, and 1. It looks like no one did it more than one time. Usually with your students, if you give them the option, they're going to. So over here, I would be able to sort it by their first attempt, their last attempt, their best attempt. If, say, Felicia did it 5 times, I would click on Felicia. I could still click on her now, and it would show me, see, unattempted, unattempted. You'll see how many seconds they spent on each question. You can see 71% were unattempted. It gives you all information, so you can even see each time they tried how they did. So there'll be 5 little tabs up here if they tried it 5 times. So pretty cool stuff. Gives you a lot of data, and it gives you some measurable homework grades or classwork or quizzes, depending how you decide to use this resource. While it's still running, you can change the deadline. You could extend it, say, out further and save it. But once it's closed, it's closed. And if you wanted to end it already, you could end it already. And that's all the information. So hope that this was helpful.